Wanted to do a quick breakdown of the heavy zone usage that the Mystics went to against the Valkyries to finally beat them for the first time in franchise history. Valkyries had just won 2 nights previously, and the Mystics had sprinkled in a little bit of zone against them, that 1-2-2. They'd shown it to some extent. Here's some clips from the last game. 1, 2, 2. And they really did this in the last game a lot because they had such a size advantage. You see them playing with both Shakira Austin and Lauren Betts. And the Valkyries went really small, often not playing a traditional center for the most part. Hero mirrors out there, but they had Salon or Kayla Thornton at the 5 for large chunks of that game. And so the Mystics kind of tried to match that by saying, all right, we've got the size advantage, but we don't have the speed advantage, so we're going to go to this 1-2-2. And obviously they still ran it with Kiki Erifen as well as Austin. In any of those combos, they mostly rotated 3 bigs. Dugalich didn't really get into the rotation in these couple of games, and I don't think she played at all in this second one. So they showed the zone previously, which we saw, and then they really went to it a lot after giving up 15 points in the first 7 minutes against the Valkyries last night. So let's just dive in. We're going to look at every play of 1-2-2 that I clipped here, which is all the plays of 1-2-2. So again, they first come to it at their first substitution. They put Alicia Flores in, and forgive me for any mispronunciations here and for the generally poor audio quality. They're going to go to this 1-2-2. And the advantage, again, is that they've got a big size advantage. Again, Betts comes in for the first time. They've got this big size advantage, and they're going to lean into that. They're going to have their 2 bigs in the low positions, and they're going to this 1-2-2 so that they're able to limit the Valkyries shooting threes a little bit better than your traditional 2-3 zone might. So what the Valkyries going to do to counter that, Salon's flashing to the middle, and because it's a 1-2-2, you can get these pinches from these 2 wings. We'll call this the up top 2 wings, 2 on the blocks. Or you can get the pinch from these 2 wings, and Tip Hayes wants the ball here on the kick out, but Salon just shoots it again. Hayes wants it, and the little shrug there. So they go to that, and you see Salon flashing again. This is the next play. She gets it. She gets good penetration, so there's the rotation on the weak side. Prosper's got to rotate out to Thornton. Flores has to rotate out to Chen, which they do. They match it pretty well. Valkyries swing the ball again, same concept, but now the Mystics are a little bit more matched. With Betts on it, they should be fully matched. Flores really digs down on it. That gives Salon time and space to kick out to Chen, who hits the 3. They're back to it here again. You see the same structure. The double step up here from Prosper kind of enables that entry pass to Salon, and that's the real issue here. Right? This should not be too up so high on that. And you're going to see what the Mystics actually do instead of having this happen, what they do later on. But here, the 2-step up, that enables Chen to loft it in easily. Again, right, there's a gap here. Salon's able to get to the paint, right? This is on Prosper for jumping up so high. Again, we'll look at it here, right? Flores should be on the ball. Prosper should tag in a little bit, or Prosper can be up. Flores can sink back in sort of a false 1. To borrow a term from soccer, which I'll keep using. All right, again, they lob it to the top. You can't give up a layup at the rim like this in the zone. Okay, back to it more. Valkyries working it around. This is really what you don't want from the offensive perspective, where everyone just kind of spaced out, enabling a match while still being in the zone. Matching defensively here, everyone's 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. You don't really want that, and you'd have to break down someone off the dribble and attack those gaps, but because it's a 1-2-2, those gaps are going to be extra stunted at. Which is something the Mystics do pretty well. And you see here, because they wind up matching like that a little bit, Flores drops down. She's guarding the post. Eriafen rotates in because she sees the mismatch. That leaves McMahon to drop down to help the helper and take away the pass to Thornton, but no one's here rotating up top, and Charles gets a pretty wide open 3, which she misses. But again, zones, offensive rebound issues. You had that earlier mismatch. Salon drops. She gets the board, can't finish though. More zone, right? You see Flores signaling for it up there. More zone. Sydney Johnson saying, get back. They enter it in. Again, you see the weak side rotation. McMahon's got to come down, and Betts gets the block up top. But again, this entry is a little easier than I think the Mystics would like. And the rotation is strong from Area Fen, and the wings are kind of crashing down. Again, Chen is the wide open kick out if you can turn and face, but Salon just got the layup. She gets past Area Fen, but Betts, who has a really good game, is there. All right, and you see here to close things off, they're kind of matching it in a convenient way where they have Flores drop back and sort of playing that false 1, right? So you still have the shape of the 1-2-2 where you've got 1 in the middle, you've got 2-2-2-2, but the false one is dropped back to take away that initial entry pass because Prosper is really eager to get up, but we know it's a zone, right? Everyone's here. And again, you see the Valkyries playing super small ball. The Salon is nominally the 5 here. Thornton maybe in the corner. Super small. All right, 1-2-2 still. They've got the shell. Hayes tries to drive at the gap here. Area fence stunts at it. Kick out to Charles. Unfortunately, can't hit it. Offensive rebound again off the zone. But she isn't able to put anything up. Betts is looking to box out Thornton. You've got 2 trying to be boxed out by McMahon. Grabs the rebound, kicks it out, but Chen can't hit this one. So again, a ton of zone. This is so much zone relative to what we've seen for the most part here. Now this is man. And why I think the Mystics have done a pretty good job matching this, and they did this especially in the previous game, was they're keying on a Mihir here, who's not a great shooter from 3. And so look at how far off Betts is going to rotate from her. They're matching it. They've got 2 centers, and the Valkyries don't have 2 centers on the court. But look at how far off of Mihir Betts comes to get the block. Right, and you can do that because now they go back to man with a Mihir on the court because they don't have to zone because they're not worried about a Mihir shooting. Same thing, same exact thing. Right, Austin's so far out, such help off of Mihir. Kick out, Betts is rotating from the paint, doesn't have to go too far, and same result, and Betts is fired up. Burton calling for, I think, 1-4 to come set it, 4 here being Zandalcini. Right, again, same shell, but the Mystics have dropped someone back to take away this early entry. But now they're going into ball screen. Amor can step up and be the point of attack defender. Again, you don't really want this, I think, in the zone where everyone can kind of match 1-2-2. Shell is intact and Valkyries are spaced out. So here, weak side cut, that's good. That flash draws Area Fen up. Onion Ware's got to rotate. She does a nice job swinging, doing a great job swinging on the back end. Amor steps to the middle, Onion Ware steps to the top, right? The shell is intact. The shell has not been broken down here offensively. The cut, they kind of match late clock. Citron follows up top again, they're matched late clock, and they get an air ball. So really good job matching this whole time, right? Rotating. And if you can keep the shell intact without, right, how many paint touches do the Valkyries have here? How many touches inside the arc do they have in general? None. Right? One dribble inside the arc, 2 dribbles, 1, right? Maybe touches the elbow, but no real threat, and the Mystics get another stop. Here, again, same. 1-2-2, basic. Stunt there. Good communication to figure it out. Again, we're back to this shell, this wide shell that is really intact. Coming to set it, they're just zoning it. This is a good duck in. Maybe you try and exploit that mismatch. Right, now they're zoned. Again, great matching on the weak side here. Right, they're just passing off these assignments really, really well. Ball comes back to the top. Amor back to it. Irifin flash to take it away, and she's got Citron covering for her. Now they're just kind of matched. And they get a long 2 from Zandalcini, which Zandalcini can hit, but Mystics have to be happy with that. More of the same shell. But this is where they do a nice job. Burton breaks them down off the dribble. Which is something we haven't seen thus far against this zone. Or against that shell, but that 5 out opens up the driving gaps, especially if you can get this sort of drive and the spacing is relatively good on the weak side. Good enough. I mean, Irifin could maybe go a second earlier. Citron sinks down on it, but good finish by Burton to put that in and break things down off the dribble. Again, same thing. More of the same. Zandalcini sort of in there, and Burton tries to enter it to her, but can't do it. And again, just that shell is really intact. And right, Onion Ware is passing it off nicely. She knows there's 2 on this side. Right, Citron is just taking that away so well. Right, she could tag down on the nail, but the kickball gets it done. All right, they're back to it again. How many of these zone possessions have they gone to in the third? So often. Coming up to set the screen. Good little slip, and that slip gets the rotation from Betts. The wing, Onion Ware is too far up on this side to help the helper here. Thornton gets an open 3. Play back, right? Putting these 2 in the action. If you get that quick slip, this is the same entering it, right, and getting that advantage because you get the line break of the 1-2-2 up top. You get the ball past there, you turn it into 3-on-2 on the backside here. If you can make this pass 1-2-3 versus 1-2. Right, and then just good job by Stokes to see which corner's rotating most threateningly, and she finds the passer. They don't hit it, and it goes out on the Valkyries. More of the same here. more of the same, right? That shell is pretty intact. Switching it off, flash by Zandalicini. Can't handle it properly. They're kind of matched at this point. Settles for the long three. Right, it's a good idea. You have this momentary confusion, but Mystics have done a nice job passing things off on the back line and sort of matching late clock or moments of uncertainty. More of the same here. All right, same thing. Now, Valkyries are going to go a little shallow here. There's a bit of a counter to see if they can get something maybe tripped up in the front lines here, but just being zone. Salon, this is after she and McMahon got tangled up. She hits an angry three, as I think Eric Apricot put it. And that little shallow from Chen did enough to hold McMahon here to create a 2-on-1 here. Betts is trying to call her over. You see Betts trying to call her over on the weak side, but there's enough space created by this sort of stagger shallow action that clears Chen out to the strong side that McMahon doesn't get over in time enough for Betts' liking, and rightly so. Salon hits the three. And more of this same shallow action, right? Onyenwere, let's see if Austin points her over to it. Yep, she is. More from Onyenwere, right? That same shallow action now, right? Back kind of to the shell. The shell is good. 1, 2, 2. Right, they're swinging it around. No paint touches. But this is again same way we saw Burton break down the zone off the dribble. Hayes really attacked Amor, who hasn't had to deal with so much of this up top. Breaks things down off the dribble, sees the help, and Mihir sneaks in. This is where you have to attack the zone if you're Mihir is cutting instead of really shooting. Does a very nice job. Cuts behind the help. Citron, right, can't guard both. She can't guard the entirety of the weak side with both a cut and someone on the wing. Usually you might see the corner spot up and the wing 45 cut this about a 45-degree angle. But again, it starts with Hayes breaking things down, breaking down the shell of the zone, getting into the paint, forces the rotation, finds the cut. Amir finishes. More of the zone, same shallow action to start. Salon goes for another one, but doesn't hit it. Again, it's the same one we saw her at the 3-on earlier, that shallow action trying to hold this weak side wing up top, but she just misses this one. Better contest from Onyenwere than McMahon had the first time. They get the offensive rebound, but thrown right away, and Onyenwere finishes on the other end. Caitlin Chen performance. Nice little line break here. This is unfortunate, right? We talked about breaking the lines up here of the 1-2 and then putting it into 3-on-2 on the back. They do a really nice job, but Salon just feels the pressure a little bit. Can't quite dump it off. Good pass out as a secondary read, but the Mystics rotate pretty well. They're just kind of matched off this. Salon in there, clogging things up with Stokes. Not a bad look from Hayes, but you want to get a little bit more. And they grab the board. More Caitlin Chen running the show. Again, look at this, right? We talked about that false one where Amor should be up here. She should be at the top of the zone, but now she's tagged down. The ball's entered from the wing, so she's holding that nail entry pass. Right, she's there, wings up. She's there. Citron pinches down. Now they just matched up. Onyenwere is like, all right, we got too much rotation going on. She's saying match up top. They're matched. Chen takes Amor off the dribble and finishes very nicely. And Chen kind of got them out of the zone. They didn't run it after this last play. Again, you see the false one up top. Swing it on the wing. Good skip right there. And Burton attacks the closeout, puts him in rotation and a 3. And that disappeared. And you can see how many clips I have going on. We'll get this max. I just want to see that last play again. All right. False one up top. Swing it. Because Theory of Fence sees the mismatch, she rotates over. Not enough on the weak side. Amor's got to jump out there. Onyenwere to the wing. Great skip from Gabby. Onyenwere takes it, drive. You see them both stunned at the gap, taking this away. Catch, shot, Caitlin Chen. But this put the Valkyries up. Washington went on a 14-0 run, I think, to close things out. Had a couple of and ones, punished Salon defensively a little bit, and won the game. Beat the Valkyries for the first time in franchise history, heading into All-Star break for the Valks.